Hey, so I was at Goodwill last night and noticed that they had a Nintendo Switch Pro controller. And so talked to the person to register and they kind of gave me a little backstory. It appears that Target might get a return, and instead of them reselling the item, they just donate it. And so that was how she thought they got it. Doesn't show Target anywhere around here, but it does say defective salvage here. Ended up paying $29.95, and I actually didn't pick it up last night. I came back this morning hoping that I would get a little better deal because they had a red tag items were 50% off sale going on this Saturday and Sunday. Thought maybe this would be applicable, but it wasn't. But that was okay. Let's take a look at what it came with. So inside the box we have the original cable and the controller. No packaging or anything else, but controller overall is in good condition. I don't see any marks or damage anywhere. One thing I did notice though is that the buttons are kind of sticky. Additionally, there was like some sort of residue here in the analog stick. But before we get started testing, let's just see if it even takes a charge. So let's plug in the cable here. Okay, well that's a good sign. We do have an indicator light here, and we got some flashing lights here on the bottom, so that's hopeful that it might work. So let's let it charge. I think these are supposed to charge for 6 hours, and so let's let it charge for a bit and move on to some testing. Okay, next I wanted to show you how to pair the controller. You could do that two ways. This is probably the easiest of the two. You simply have your controller here and the cable that came with it. You plug that into the top of the controller and the other end into your dock. And from there it's just going to automatically pair it. And so looks like the buttons are functioning and it's working well. The second way to sync your controller this way is a wireless sync. And so you got to first know that the controller has a sync button, or at least the Pro controller does. There's a sync button at the top that you're going to need to hit for this. And so for this one you're going to need to go to controllers and change grip order. And so at this point, this is where you would hit the sync button, and it should start showing the lights here on the bottom. And you're ready. There it goes. Alright, next let's try out a game and see how that holds up. Okay, so all the buttons seem to be working well. For the controller's sticky buttons, I'm going to use both rubbing alcohol and some contact cleaner to see if I could fix that issue. And so first I want to start with the contact cleaner. And so I am going to be using some CRC electronic cleaner, and it's quick drying. And so I'm going to just give it a little spray on each button, also on this analog stick. And if you press the button, it'll help to get it into where it needs to be. And so you're just simply going to be pressing down the buttons here and working in the CRC and hoping that it might loosen up that stickiness. And so I'm also going to give it a little spray here, and same thing, just working that in. And that's already starting to feel a little bit better here. Next I wanted to hit it with some rubbing alcohol. And so I'm just getting it onto a Q-tip here. Working around the buttons. Same thing, just giving them a little press to help work it in a little bit. And clean up and around these analog sticks. And so I'm going to do that on all the buttons on the controller and see if that helps. Next I want to show you how to remove the ink from the cardboard. There's probably multiple ways to do it, but in this I'm going to be using some rubbing alcohol and a Q-tip. And so if you just rub in a circular motion, it should lift off most of the ink here. And then you could use like a paper towel or a rag or something to take off the excess. And so if you just do that a little bit at a time and carefully, you should be able to remove it no problem. Okay, so most of that marker is gone. And let's just get rid of the sticker here. Okay, so you see that most of it didn't come off. And so for what's left here, I might just continue picking at it, but you could also use a little bit of Goo Gone, and so I could get some of that here and we can try to clean up the rest of that. Okay, so after a little bit of Goo Gone and the rubbing alcohol, the back of the box is looking pretty good. And so for both of those, you just simply use a circular motion and take it slow and be patient, and you'll slowly start to see everything coming off there without absorbing into the cardboard. The most important thing is just to use something that isn't water-based so it doesn't absorb into the cardboard. Okay, so after a little cleaning, the controller seems to be working well. The buttons are way more responsive, everything feels good. I don't feel that stickiness anymore. And so these normally go for 50, 60 bucks. For $30, I think this was a win. And so thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.